Probably shouldn't be eating popcorn and then putting my fingers in my face, but. Hi everyone, my name is Afton Lee. This is the first video on my new YouTube channel. I am going to be sort of a lifestyle vlogger, if you will. The first thing I'm going to start with today is a really natural makeup look. No foundation in this look. And, you know, this is the kind of thing I would wear on the daily and not feel like I'm super cakey. But I don't think this will really be a makeup channel. I have a lot of other things I'm going to talk about. I am on a budget, so I have a lot of like broke girl hacks. I am getting married this year, and I have done a ton of DIYing for that and will continue to do that, so I might share some wedding planning on this channel. We are going on a honeymoon to Mexico afterward, and I have done such thorough research on the resort we're staying at, so I might share some of my tips for resort searching, vacation things, that sort of thing. I will be definitely doing a clothing haul for you guys for my Mexico vacation honeymoon looks. So if you're interested, welcome and keep watching. If you have any suggestions on things you want to see, please leave me a comment. Go ahead and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me at the beginning of this journey. This is exciting. Without further ado, if you want to see this no foundation, daily little easy peasy look, keep watching. If we want to do kind of like a fresh face, you can see I have very far from perfect skin, dark circles here, but I don't like a lot of foundation. You know, it makes me feel gunky. I'm not saying I never wear foundation. I'll wear it for pictures. Have a wedding coming up this year, and I'll wear it then. But I don't really wear it in my day-to-day. I hardly wear makeup in my day-to-day. But sometimes, even if you are the kind of person who likes foundation, sometimes you're just over it and you just need a lighter weight face. So what I'm going to do is just make sure that I kind of brighten myself up a little bit, help my skin to feel a little bit better because I don't want to look really sallow without much foundation on. So I love this stuff. This is the Mary Kay Time Wise Pore Minimizer. It is amazing. You can buy, I think you can buy it by itself, but you can also buy it in a set with this microdermabrasion, and then you put some of this on before you moisturizer. It really does kind of, I have very, very big pores, but this stuff really does shrink them. I'm always pleased with it. Yeah, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of that, and if you read on the bottle, it'll say put it in an upward and outward motion. I think it's something to do with the angle of your pores. No skin expert though, clearly, so don't quote me on that, but that's just what I do. Follow the directions. There you go. Okay, that's done. And then, like I said, I have some dark circles under my eyes, and since I'm not doing heavy base with this look to really cover them up too much, I want to make sure I brighten them up as much as I can. So the next thing is the Garnier Skin Active Clearly Brighter Anti-Puff Eye Roller. So you might have seen that Becca Cosmetics has a no pigment foundation. That's actually kind of what inspired me to do this video. I will say I do not own it. I cannot review it. And I saw a lot of comments on the Sephora website that were like, this product shouldn't exist. It's just primer. Primer's 10 bucks. This is way expensive. But that kind of inspired me to do more of primer as my foundation for a video. So that's what I'm going to do. So I really like the Maybelline Baby Skin. So you do not need a lot of this because with those silicone-y feeling primers, sometimes they can make you feel kind of slick and gunky, and then we're just back at the feeling of wearing a bunch of foundation on our face, and it kind of defeats the purpose. But I'm just taking a really little bit, actually, let me show show you guys. Literally the tiniest little bit. And then I'm going to copy what that Time-Wise bottle said and do kind of an upward and outward motion. With primer, I focus a lot in across the bridge of my nose because that's where my pores are pretty big. I don't really have pore problems on the rest of my face, but right there, that's where I can get oily, which makes sense. It's my T-zone. Okay, and then I just take the rest of it and kind of work on the rest of my face. So this being my first, or one of my first videos, I'm not sure when I'm going to post this. I have not yet invested in a really great camera or a really great light. So I don't know if you can tell, but I am a little bit matter, a little bit more blurred than I was before. Clearly you can still see my pimples, things like that. But that's, you know, getting me started. So next, I will go in with a little bit of concealer just because I have some blemishes. This is totally a doable look without concealer. It's not necessary. If you are one of those guys or gals that is blessed with beautiful blemish-free skin, A, I'm jealous, and B, no, jealousy is not a good look, but A, good for you, and B, you don't need to cover anything. It's up to you. I mean, makeup is totally a personal taste. It's a personal decision. Like I said, I don't really wear makeup in my day-to-day, just on special occasions. So whatever you want to rock, full face, less stuff, whatever, we're all here for it. So what I'll be using is the Rimmel Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable. So you just squeeze a little bit and get some of it running, and then you're gonna go, I don't like to go all the way up under my eye when I do concealer. I kind of, when I apply it, before I blend it, I kind of focus it on where the edge of my dark circle is, and then I work to blend up and out and even down just a little bit, and that I feel gives me a more natural look and a less cakey look, less prone to creasing, that sort of thing. I'm also going to just hit a couple of zits, squeeze, and the other place, again, not necessary if you don't want to do concealer at all, but I like to conceal a little bit under my nose. I don't know if you can see there, but I have some redness there. I think a lot of people do, just blood vessels are more visible there. So I just like to put a tiny bit under there. Again, not necessary, but if you're like me and you get red and it bothers you, you can cover it up or leave it natural. I mean, we all know what faces look like when we don't wear makeup. Like every single one of us knows what a face without makeup looks like, so whatever. It's up to you. Cover or don't. We're here for it. Okay. The one thing I will say about the sponge on this is that I can't blend with it. I don't know if it's designed for that, but I don't really find it very useful for that. So I am going to go with the blender. I'll be right back. So I'm going to blend this out with a tiny little beauty sponge. I think this is Real Techniques brand. I like it wet. I like to wet my beauty sponge before I use it, especially with something like this where I'm not wearing a full face of foundation and I don't want full coverage, because I find that wetting it, essentially, I mean, think about it logically, you're thinning it out with water, so it's going to blend into your skin, melt into your skin a little bit better. So I am gonna dab out where I covered my zits, my imperfections, if you want to call them that, whatever. Oh, that's a stubborn one. Let's see. Let's pick up a little bit more concealer. For situations like that where I need to go back in with more, it's a stubborn one, as I said, I will dab my sponge with a lighter hand when I'm right on top of it, and then work my way out with a heavier hand. So you don't have this, like, when you're not wearing foundation, you don't want it to be obvious where concealer is and where it stops and starts. So of course you can put it heavier right on the area, but then all around you're going to want to blend more so that it transitions more naturally into your skin. Okay, that's better. And then with eyes, like I said, I only kind of apply right at that line. Sometimes I'll do the vertical line thing. I'm sure you've seen people do that. But then I blend kind of in the direction of the people who do the big triangle. But I just find, especially again when you're not wearing foundation, that is a more natural look, and it doesn't look like, oh, my under eyes are really white and the rest of my face is just my normal skin. So. The next thing I will say is, again, not a full face makeup look, more of a natural look, not a beat look, you know. So I'm not going to go in with super heavy highlight or do really light concealer right here or anything, but I have some, you know, concealer left on the Beauty Blender, as you can see, and I'm just going to take, it's like the faintest amount, but I'm going to run that up the bridge of my nose and put it where you would normally highlight. As you saw, I drug my eyes out this way, you know, as if it were a highlight. Yeah, and so it's still catching light, but it's not, you know, it's not a full, super full heavy look. Okay, so I'm going to test something out with you guys. I have this e.l.f. brush. I do not for the life of me know what it is for. Look how humongous it is. So I'm not going to do my friggin' blush with this. I'm not going to do my contour with this. It's humongous. So I'm going to do powder with this today because it's going to, you know, keep my arms from getting tired because I'll need like very few swipes with something this huge. So I'm just going to go again with a light, fresh face, nothing too heavy. Just going to kind of cover up everything, blur it together with the Maybelline Fit Me powder. This is the Matte and Poreless powder. I tend to be a little oily. I know you saw I'm acne prone. So yeah, so I like the Matte and Poreless for me. I believe they have another formula of this. They definitely have another formula of the liquid foundation for people who have drier skin. I'm not sure about the powder. Anyway, okay. So I guess I'm just gonna swipe it across once. Give it a little tappy because we don't want to look cakey. And just go in. I'm going to try it this way. I don't know. You guys are going to be like, this girl's nuts. I'm not watching her YouTube channel. Or maybe that'll be more entertaining. I don't know. It's interesting. It's got really soft bristles. And because I kind of just really lightly in the pan, I can go in with a heavier hand with this and it doesn't look heavy-handed. And just, you know, again, this is lightweight, so you're not really gonna have a foundation line, but you just like to blend around your neck and all that good stuff. Make sure you don't look like you're wearing a mask. If you can at least see kind of the finish, like obviously I'm freckly, My freckles are still completely showing, but it just, I just kind of blurred in the, oh, I'm so sorry, the white balance. Blurred in the slightest, you know, freshened up, if you will. So that's that. Okay, that's my skin color. What you just saw was not my skin color. I need to get a better light. Okay. So like I said, I'm not going to go too heavy on contour. I'm going to do, it's not even really contour. I'm going to bronze my face, but I'm going to do it in the places where you would contour. And so it'll be a little bit more blurred. It will bring some natural shadows to my face, but it's mostly for warming me up. You know, and I'm not gonna create new shapes. I'm gonna try to put it where the shadows already are. So I am going to use the Tarte Amazonian Clay bronzer, which is an old standby. I think this is probably like a cult classic at this point. I don't know, do they still call it that? This shade's in Park Avenue Princess. I like it for my skin tone. I am light, as you can see, but I have a little bit of yellowiness to me, a little bit of, I'm on the warmer side of neutral for sure. So this works for me. If you're more cool toned, it might be a little bit too warm for your skin, but it is bronzer, so most of them are fairly warm. And I'm just getting a little bit of that, just swirling it around and tapping it. Again, we don't want to go too heavy. And again, like sucking in a little bit, like you can see right here where the shadows fall. So I'm just trying to follow that so that it doesn't look really stark. And because I tapped it off, it's going on nice and light. And I always like to blend, I do right here, right? I do my temples because shadows naturally fall there. And also, you know, you get sun there, so it looks a little natural. So to make that, continue that natural idea of like where the sun might hit you and tan your face, I like to bring it up from there. So I start here, sweep it up against my hairline. And it kind of looks like, you know, I just got a little flush. It's not too much. I never get fresh bronzer or fresh contour powder on my brush to do this. I take whatever is left from that whole situation and put it under here. Because again, there are natural shadows under there, but I find if you go in with a fresh dip of contour or bronzer to do that, you just totally screwed yourself with all the work you did not looking like a mask, right? And blending your foundation into your neck or blending your powder into your neck, because then you get that harsh line. So I just take the tiniest, I mean, there's hardly anything left on this brush, and just kind of almost clean off my brush with my chin or with my jaw. But yeah, like, see the difference? It's like very minimal. It's that no makeup, which is my taste, girl. Okay, we do that other side. Just the faintest bit of bronze. Just the faintest bit of shadow. Not looking like, you know, like you cut your crease but on your cheek. So you cut your cheek. What next? Blush. Okay. I live for the Milani Baked Blushes. They're awesome. They're super affordable. Pick them up at the drugstore. Again, knocking it off because your girl doesn't want that heavy-handed look. I will say with blush, I do go a little heavier-handed than anything else. My duck lip situation. I always do duck lips when I do blush. I don't know why. You know what it is? It brings out this little thing that, like, you know, the bottom of the apple of your cheek that, you know, rich people will pay to have permanent there, you know, through cosmetic surgery or what have you. But for me, it helps me focus on my apples more. So Do my little duck lips. And I also like to bring blush over my nose a little bit. I think if you're going for natural, again, no problem not going for natural, but if you want to look like you have less makeup on, bringing the things that are on your face to make you look like you had a little sun, or to make you look, you know, that sort of thing, bringing those to places where the sun would hit you makes it look more cohesive and makes it less like she's wearing blush and she's wearing a lot of it. Like, even if I were to pile up a lot right here, if I got a little bit on my nose, it kind of, you know, brings it together, makes it look like I'm back from vacation. Yes. And then another time that I do not clean my brush but use whatever tiny little bit of product is left on it, like I said, I like to bring my blush into places where the sun hits my face. So I just layer the tiniest bit over where I put that bronzer on my forehead. Ooh. And it makes it look just a little bit more like a natural flush instead of like blush. Okay. So that's that. I know it's not a lot. I know you can see my freckles. I know you can see some pimples here and there. I know you can see my under eyes, but that is the face. I'm going to move on to eyes and lips, and then that's that. I mean, it's really quick and easy. But yeah, oh, again, with that blush, because of the shimmer, God, it's not that bright, this light, no. Because of the shimmer, it gives you a natural highlight. If you're looking for a highlight that would be cohesive with a look like this, to add in addition to this, I would suggest the Physicians Formula. It is this Mineral Glow Pearls. They call it pearls, but it's not like the loose pearls. That's a pan, you know, that's a pan right there. It's just kind of shaped like pearls. The one that works for me is called Translucent Pearl. And I'm not going to put it on my face right now because, like I said, the blush is doing its thing. But I can swatch some of this for you. So if I were to use this, I would do it really light-handed, you know, not quite so gleamy, because that's not what works for this look. But just for sake of like seeing how powerful it can be when you swatch it, I'll go in with my finger and like get a lot of product on it. So, all right, let's let the white balance figure itself out. Okay, so that is that. And you see, it's like it really does catch the light beautifully. But it's not super unnatural looking, if you ask me. You know, let's put a little bit of that on her nose. See, it's just the littlest bit, you know, I look a little sweaty or something. I don't look like I have glitter all over my face. And there's a time and place for that. Please don't think that because I'm doing a natural look, I'm dissing people who beat their face and make the coolest looks. Like, I can watch those videos for hours. It's just never how I do my makeup. So I figured I'd be lying to myself and you guys if I did a video like that, because I never do that. Popcorn break. Okay. My favorite eye palette is the ColourPop. Oh my God, with that light, it's just like, I'm gonna blind you guys. The ColourPop Double Entendre palette. ColourPop Double Entendre palette. Really beautiful. A lot of warm tones. Again, I'm sorry, you cool skinned people. If you're the kind of person that like silver jewelry looks better on you and things, the makeup portion of my YouTube channel is probably not going to be the best for you, but you never know till you try. But really just beautiful, beautiful warm tones. Some of them don't look as pretty in the pan, but oh my God, like this. The one called Teddy Bear, B-A-R-E, cute. I guess that's a double entendre. Right here is, you know, it looks like, oh, okay, that's a shimmer shadow. But when you swatch this, you guys, I just went in twice with my finger. Let me give you my wrist. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? It's such a warm gold, and it looks like liquid. I mean, it looks like, I don't know if the glossy eyes are still in. That was a trend for a while, but it looks glossy. But it's powder, you know. Love this palette. This palette's awesome. Okay. So I am, like the rest of my face, not going to go too heavy with the eyes. This is a Wet n Wild. It's kind of like a blender brush. It's a big, you know, it's kind of humongous. I am going to dip into this light transition shade. It's called Nip Slip. So I'm going to dip in a Nip Slip. And then I am going to do kind of the transition like above my crease with that. But if you can see the difference, that just, you know, mattified me a little bit, and just kind of darkened up the entire region where we might want to transition from lid to brow bone, you know, with the crease in there. So and then really not much more on the eyes. I'm just going in, same humongous brush. I'm going to go in with the next shade darker. It picks up a little bit darker on the camera. It's not quite that dark of a brown. It's more of a taupe. You know what? I would call this a taupe, what I just did, the Nip Slip. And then this is more of a camel color. And I know it's reading cool on my camera because I don't have the greatest camera. But yeah, it's more of a warm taupe. And this one's called Send Noodles. This palette, y'all. Give that a good tap. We don't want to have, you know, we want nice, seamless transition. So this, I am doing pretty much the same thing, focusing it ever so slightly lower and not being so sloppy with my windshield wipers, but I'm still doing the little circle, windshield wiper, little circle, windshield wiper. Then you'll see, it might be the angle of my light too, but you know, it's a little heavy in this corner. So to blend that out, I'm just going to dip back into the Nip Slip color, the first color we used, and just go now without the little circles, just kind of blend it all together. For me, I find that a brown liner matches my eyelashes really nicely and looks a little bit less harsh. So I have the ColourPop Cream Gel liner. So I'm going to line my top lash line pretty close. And I'm going to do my bottom lash line, but only until about like the edge of my iris. And I'm not going to do the waterline, like it's actually going to be the lash line. So what I do, A, to set it, and B, to kind of clean it up and blur it out, is to take a little liner brush. I just got an Eco Tools one right here. And I'm going to dip into just any brown eyeshadow works. Again, this is reading a lot darker than it is on my cruddy camera, but that's Keep It PG from the same palette I've been using from ColourPop. So I'm just going to dip in there and just blend over it. So Then I'm just going to take the Locked and Loaded color. It's another, whoa, I'm blinding you guys. It's another kind of gleamy color there, a little bit of slight bit of shimmer. I'm going to use my finger and kind of just pat it on my mobile lid just to catch a little bit of light. And then I'll bring it in, even though I put that highlighter on those inner corners already, I'll bring it into those inner corners. And then the same thing, just right under my brow bone, or under my brow, on my brow bone. Y'all know this part of your face. Cute. Okay. So I find that when you want a wide, fresh, awake face, you want curly lashes. So that's what we're going to do. So you guys are going to think I'm a Mary Kay rep. I am not. I just really like their products. My favorite mascara is the Mary Kay Ultimate Mascara. It's been around for a while now. This is like a constant repurchase for me when it's, when it is time. So I'm just going to curl, add a couple coats of this. And then for mascara, I will start at the base of my eyelashes, give it a little bit of wiggle without moving upward yet, and then swipe up. And I find that gives me the fullest look because I don't want them super full at the tips, obviously, because then it looks clumpy, but super full at the bottom. I am a big fan of the Glossier Boy Brow. As you can tell, I have really thick eyebrows. I do not, well, not super thick, but I have, relatively thick eyebrows. There's not a ton of gapping in them, but I also don't pluck or wax my eyebrows. That's just a personal decision of mine. I'm selective about what pain I put myself through for beauty, and eyebrows is just one I'm not willing to do. So for me, with eyebrows like this, I just like a little bit of tint, a little something with a brush on it, to kind of make it a little bit more cohesive, but keeping my kind of unruly brows is kind of my jam. So Glossier Boy Brow is great. And a fairly good dupe for it, it does have a much bigger brush, is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara, and it's a lot cheaper and get a lot more. So maybe I'll do, brows are sisters, not twins, but maybe I'll do one of each so you can see if there's really a difference. So I have the Glossier Boy Brow in brown. So see, this one has a much bigger brush, and I'll do that on this side. So you can see, I clearly bought both of these for me, for personal use. And this one is in brunette. And just in doing that, I know I wanted to compare them for you, but clearly this one's warmer toned and this one's cooler toned. So if that makes a difference to you, I will say I think I prefer cooler tone on my eyebrows, as much as the rest of my face is a little bit warmer. Just looking now, I kind of like the coloring of this. So I'm gonna, so there you go. There's your difference. And I'm gonna then go back in with the Glossier on this because I'm just partial to it. This ColourPop Layover, I think, is maybe the best lipstick shade I've ever owned. I love it. Oh, I've used a look. That's how much I have left and it's all pent up. Clearly I love it. But see, it's a mauvey nude, but it's not rosy at all. So if you like more of a pink, this is definitely more of, like, it has a terracotta undertone. That's what it is. But I'm really a fan. Let me do my hair real quick. So that's it. That's the finished look. Again, not claiming to be any sort of beauty guru. I'm just kind of getting the feel for what this channel is going to be. And when I wear makeup, this is the kind of makeup I wear. So here it is. Thanks for watching.